The Vitamins by Dr. Kenneth Walker. It is well known that health cannot be maintained on a diet which is narrowly sufficient to make good the body's output in work and to repair its wear and tear. Sir F. Golan Hopkins in 1906 found that rats kept on a diet, pure proteins, fats, carbohydrates, salt, and adding to water, developed the science of malnutrition. His experiments confirmed what had long been suspected, namely that certain diseases were entirely due to the absence of some essential ingredients in food. This essential ingredient is now known to be one of those interesting chemical bodies to which has been given the name vitamins. As long as 1601, Sir James Lancaster introduced the use of oranges, use of oranges and lemons in the ships of the East India Company in order to combat the old-time scourge of sailors, scurvy. Another disease that is now known to be due to the absence of an essential vitamin is beriberi, a disease characterized by weakness and even complete paralysis of the lungs associated with dropsy, paralysis of the legs associated with dropsy. This deficiency disease is particularly liable to attack communities in which the conditions of living are hard, such as in labor camps and prisons. Between the year 1878 and 1882, from 25 to 40% of the personnel of the Japanese Navy was incapacitated by beriberi. In order to fight the disease, Admiral Takaki, director of medical services, urged a generous increase in vegetables. Fish and meat were also served out of the plate, and barley added into the sailors' ration of rice. The precise chemical nature of the vitamins is in a process of elucidation. What can be said about them is that, like the enzymes and the internal secretions of the ductless glands, minute quantities have a great effect on the body. The nomenclature of the vitamin is based on their different solubility in fats or in butter, and the letters of the alphabet are employed to distinguish them. The fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, and E. Vitamin A is present in large quantities in cod liver oil and in small amounts in butter and the green vegetables. Absence of this vitamin from the diet of young animals results in stunted growth. A deficiency in it also reduces the natural resistance offered by the body to invading organisms. Sometimes a deficiency in vitamin A produces a curious dry condition of the eye known as um, scero, thalmia, Xero, xerophthalmia. Less severe deficiency impairs the power of vision in a poor light. Vitamin D and the second fat-soluble vitamin is also found in cod liver oil and in lesser amounts in other animal fats, but not in vegetable oils. Its absence from the food interferes with the growth and calcification of bones and is the cause of rickets. Formerly, when rickets was less well understood, two apparently uh, discordant theories were advanced to explain it. One group of investigators believed that it was purely a diet deficiency disease. They pointed out that it could be readily cured by adding a small quantity of cod liver oil to the diet. Another group was equally convinced that the disease was determined by a child's physical environment, for rickets almost always attacked children living in dark industrial cities and was quickly cured when they were brought into the sunlight. These two apparently contradictory opinions have now been reconciled. Rickets may be caused either by a shortage of vitamin D or else by lack of sunlight. This is due to the fact that the body can obtain its vitamin D by two chemicals, by the mouth, by two channels, by the mouth and by the skin. When ultraviolet light from the sun or from an arc lamp strikes the skin, it converts a certain fat found there into vitamin D. A child therefore can make good any deficiency in his diet by manufacturing his own vitamin, provided that he receives sufficient light. Not only can ultraviolet light enable the skin to manufacture its own vitamin D, but it can increase the efficiency of the various foods that are used in the treatment of rickets. Irradiated cod liver oil is more potent as a corrective than ordinary cod liver oil. Vegetable oils, which otherwise have no anti anti-rachitic anti-rachitic action, can be made efficacious by irradiation with ultraviolet light. Finally, rats that have been rendered rickety by a restricted diet can be restored to health by rubbing on their skins irradiated oil. The third fat soluble vitamin E is also known as the anti-sterility vitamin. Evans and his colleagues working in the University of California found that male rats reared on a certain restricted diet became partially sterile in first generation, and completely sterile in the second. Examination of the reproductive glands showed that these had undergone determination and degeneration. Female rats kept on the same diet also became sterile, but for a different reason. Their ovaries continued to function, but the embryos within their wombs underwent disintegration and reabsorption into the material tissues. The diet in some way interfered with the mechanism by means of which the fetus obtained and the materials essential for its development. All these changes could be rectified by adding the vitamin A to the diet. This, like vitamin D, is found in the majority of common foodstuffs and more especially in the leaves and seedlings. On the assumption that certain cases of human infertility may be due to dietary deficiency, wheat germ oil, rich in vitamin E, is sometimes given to the childless couples. The chief water-soluble vitamins are B and C. Absence of vitamin B is responsible for that strange disease beriberi. During the latter half of the last century, this disease was scourge in all rice-eating countries. Gradually, it has been realized that beriberi is due not to rice itself, but to the eating of rice, which has been subjected to milling. Such rice is known as polished rice. If the older methods of separating the husk from the germ were employed, methods that did not remove the pericarp or nutritive layer of the rice, very did not occur. The richest source of vitamin B is yeast, but it is found also in vitamin in various types of grains. Further examination has shown that vitamin B actually contains as many as 6 different substances of varying importance. One of, one of these prevents beriberi and another pellagra. Pellagra is a tropical disease characterized by severe skin rashes, changes in the mucous membranes, and mental deterioration. Vitamin C or the anti-scorbutic vitamin is present in the fresh vegetables, in germinating peas and beans, and in some fruits, especially lemons and oranges. Other vitamins are being discovered, but because less is known about them, they will not be described here. Although the scientist now knows that food is necessary for health, his advice is seldom asked for or followed. To the average politician and official, the scientist is a theorist and not a practical man. He must be treated with respect, but his advice need be followed only if it falls in line with official views. So we still continue to remove um, from no, I don't know what is this. and heat the part of it that is rich in vitamins. Making good what have removed the means of vitamin supplied at considerable expense. By the dispensing chemist, not only do remove the bit of pericap containing the vitamins, but we bleach our floor by means of alkalis that have the effect of destroying the vitamins and that have escaped the miller. Having carefully removed all the vitamins, it becomes necessary that we should purchase them in tablet form from the chemist. By this compromise with science, the interests of the millers are maintained and the prosperity of purveyors of vitamins is assured.